State Library of Queensland and First Five Forever presents The Cow That Swam Out to Sea. Written by Pamela Rushby, illustrated by Nicola Hooper, and read by Emily Goman.
Once there was a cow that swam out to sea. Her name was Matilda. Matilda lived on a very quiet farm. Twice a day, the farmer milked the cows. Then the cows walked back to the paddocks and ate grass. Occasionally, they said, "Moo." Matilda, however, was a curious cow. She often looked up at the mountain. What was behind it? Sometimes she walked down to the river. Where did it go? She did not expect she would ever find out. Until one day, it began to rain. It poured. Water cascaded down the mountain. The wet cows turned their backs to the rain and grumbled, "Moo." They hoped the rain would soon stop. Matilda had never seen the river so high. She ambled down to look at it. Then, suddenly, there was a roar. The cows looked up. A wall of water came pouring and hurtling down the mountain. The cows said, "Moo!" The water gobbled at the riverbanks and spilled over. The cows watched it, amazed. They were safe. But Matilda was not. Curious Matilda was on the riverbank. The water snatched her up. In a second, she was swimming. The other cows ran backwards and forwards in alarm, calling, "Moo! Moo! Moo!" But the farmer was snug inside his house and could not hear. "Moo! Moo! Moo! Moo!" Matilda called desperately. Matilda paddled frantically in the rushing, splashing, hustling water. She was soon very tired. Then a great mass of tangled branches and logs and waterweed swept up beside her. Matilda thankfully heaved herself onto it. The river kept rolling on. It rushed and splashed and hustled under a bridge, by a town, through paddocks. It was all very interesting for a curious cow. It was like being an explorer. The river grew wider. It began to get dark. Now Matilda was in a city. She had never seen a city before. She tried calling for help, "Moo!" But everyone in the city was inside, out of the rain. No one heard her. Except one person. A little boy looked out of his bedroom window, high up in a tall building. "A cow!" he said. The little boy shouted to his mum and dad, "Look, in the river! There is a cow!" They came to the window, but by the time they reached it, Matilda had gone. Still, the river spread wider until Matilda could not see the banks. She was all alone, in a great, wide darkness. How far would she go? Matilda worried. What might be under her in the water? The mass of waterweed bobbed on through the night. Matilda was afraid to go to sleep, and she was very hungry. At last, the sky glowed golden, and Matilda found she had come to rest on mudflats near an island. "Grass!" thought Matilda. She stepped eagerly onto the mudflats. At once, her hooves sank into mud. Icky, thicky, sticky mud. She took a step. Shoop, bloop. Matilda managed 2 more steps. Then she was stuck. Stuck fast. Matilda did not like that. She shook her head and bellowed, "Moo!" "Whatever is that?" someone said. A little girl and her grandfather were walking along the beach. "Moo!" roared Matilda. The little girl and her grandfather waded out to Matilda. "Hello, cow. How did you ever get here?" the little girl said. Together they helped Matilda pull her legs free of the icky, thicky, sticky mud. They guided her through the mudflats. Matilda went straight to the green grass and took a great mouthful. She said gratefully, "Moo." When Matilda had eaten some grass, the little girl and her grandfather took her to their home. Their yard had beds full of flowers, big and bright and delicious. "Oh, my flowers," said the little girl's grandmother. "But she's so hungry, Granny," said the little girl. "Poor cow, where could she have come from?" Matilda had a tag in her ear. "This might tell us," the grandfather said. "It looks like a phone number." "Crikey," said the farmer. "You have never got one of my cows. That is nearly 100 kilometres away." Matilda was famous. Her picture was in the newspaper. The farmer said it was a long way to send Matilda back. "You can keep her if you like," he said. "Really?" the little girl said, and she hugged Matilda. "Would you like to stay?" "Moo!" agreed Matilda. Now, every day, Matilda eats the green, juicy grass, and sometimes the flowers. Matilda is not so curious anymore. She never wants to go exploring, and she never wants to go swimming again, especially out to sea. The end.